You are now tuned in to the Jmack Experience Podcast.
All right, we're back, and we got a very, very special guest on the show today. I want to give you a round of applause for being here. Thank you so much for showing up.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little nervous. This is my first podcast. You're my first. Please.
Really? Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's nothing to be nervous about. You know, we're going to catch a wonderful vibe. I think you're doing well already. You came prepared.
I try.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Episode 77. Ariana Pacheco is in the building. We're going to get into the intro real quick, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Jmack Experience Podcast. This show is for motivational purposes only. However, we will not be politically correct, but our goal is to inspire those who listen and watch the show. Thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to follow us at the Jmack Experience Podcast and email us if you would like to be a guest on our platform at the Jmack Experience Podcast at gmail.com. Peace.
Once again, it's an honor to be in your presence. Thank you so much for being on the platform. I want to give you another round of applause.
Thank you.
You're doing some amazing things that I was researching, honestly, but I want to start from the very beginning. So for those out there who are not familiar, what's your name and where are you from?
Well, my name is Ariana Pacheco, and grew up in Johnston, Rhode Island.
Oh, nice. You're from Johnston?
Yeah.
Nice.
So living in Cranston now. Cranston was always a second home for me.
Right.
So, I'm living there with my grandfathers, actually, kind of staying with them, helping them out as much as I can. So.
With the papa and the nana.
Yeah, so they're like adoptive grandfathers because both of my parents are immigrants.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, I have a small amount of blood family in Rhode Island, but that resulted in a very large community and family that we kind of created throughout the years.
So it's pretty much like everything happens for a reason, right? That's a good thing.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
Right?
I think so.
What are your origins? Like, where are you originally from? Like, your background, more or less. Like, your original. Because you said,
Yeah, so actually, my mom was born in Poland.
Oh, Poland. Okay, so you're Polish.
And my dad was born in Portugal.
Oh, that's nice. That's
so
a nice
I'm
mix.
50-50.
Yeah.
I actually did the 23andMe. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew what I was, but it was literally like 50-50 Polish and Portuguese.
So you think that's really accurate, those readings?
Well, I mean, it did say my dad was my dad. So
that
was good to know.
You know what? I'm only asking because I've always wondered about those things because they say like everyone should do it just to trace like where you're originally from, right? Because sometimes we're thinking, because I found out like not too long ago that my some way back in my ancestry we have people from Spain. So because I'm Puerto Rican, but like we actually have Spaniards in our family too. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. So something that I always considered doing. How much did you pay to get that done? Was it expensive?
It was a Christmas gift, so.
Oh, nice. Freeze for me, right?
Exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what was it like for you, like growing up more or less in Johnston? How was it?
It was definitely a fun experience. I mean, Johnston is also, it's Rhode Island. And in all the towns, everyone knows everyone and everything. And I always grew up this like sense of community, which I feel like I'm always chasing now in my adult life. Because it was always like people always pushing you to be the best version of yourself, which I really liked. I had a teacher in high school. He would always say, don't just do one thing. Like, I don't care if you're the smartest person in the world. Join a sport, join a club, do something else. Like, do something that's out of your comfort zone. And I always kind of took that to heart.
Absolutely. Now speaking on that, so then you played a little bit of sports, I'm assuming?
So I tried playing soccer.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at
it.
A
lot of people from Portugal love that sport, right?
I know my dad's heart was broken when I was bad at soccer, I think.
That's hilarious.
And then, I did a lot of dancing. I did some cheerleading growing up. Mostly spent my time around the theater world. So
okay, so you started early on. That's what I was getting to. So then you dancing more or less became your thing, as well as theater and acting and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was basically born into it.
Wow.
Yeah, so my grandfathers that I mentioned, they were the starters and wrote the scripts for Kaleidoscope Theater.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, it's a wonderful theater. COVID kind of put a little bit of a pause on it. And we're looking at what's next for the scripts. But we did touring fairy tale musicals and touring touring programs and everything. So it was just I had no choice. Right. Like I was born into acting and
you got to continue the legacy, right?
Something like that.
That's amazing because I'm going to be honest, I'm from New York City originally and I love Broadway musicals. Like I've seen Wicked, The Lion King. They have Aladdin now, which I want to go see.
Oh, it's so good. You have to see it.
Phantom of the Opera is another good one. Yeah. And those shows are amazing. They're a little pricey, but you get what you pay for, because it's not like a movie where you could watch it over and over and over. It's like a one-time thing.
Right.
And I feel like if you could do Broadway and musicals and theater and that nature, like I feel like that's way harder than actual acting. Because there's no second take when you're live.
It's so much fun because you never know what's going to happen. And
Absolutely.
Every show is different. And, in the moment, it's always terrible. But the best stories after the fact are when things go wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, like, you said that you were pretty much, like, born into it. But, like, when did you realize that this was something to do that you really enjoyed doing it and you wanted to do it for the rest of your life?
I think it's something that happened for me over time.
Yeah.
When it's what you know since day one, it's kind of clear that it's what you want to do.
Right.
I was very fortunate to know what my passion was at a young age. But then you have to question that because that's what being a kid is about. What do I actually want to do?
Exactly.
So, for a while I wanted to be a vet or I wanted to be a psychologist. And every time I tried to steer myself away.
It brought you back.
Yeah. It's the drug I couldn't get over.
Absolutely. So being that you sing and you also do acting, how do you balance both talents?
Honestly, it's focusing on the acting and the singing.
Right.
And focusing on the speaking tactics using singing tools. So it's practicing it every day. And, when I'm singing, I'm making sure I'm also including my acting skills that I'm learning and incorporating that, but also knowing when it's like, okay, maybe I need to not focus on that because I'm sounding real pitchy right now. And I need to just focus on that singing technique. Right. So I think it's keep being mindful of yourself, not being hard on yourself. Absolutely. I think is the biggest thing you have to do.
And having fun with it, right? Sometimes I feel like when it comes to, these type of things like acting, singing, even if you do music, you put so much pressure on yourself. You know what I mean?
And it's called a play for a reason.
You got to have fun with it.
Yeah. You're just meant to be out there and play. Sometimes I think it's silly what I do in the best possible way, Yeah. I'm just out there having fun and I'm like, I get paid.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
So, which one do you enjoy most? Do you like the acting part of it or the singing, or are they fair? Do you like them both the same?
Oh, it's definitely the acting.
Acting? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I knew there had to be one more than the other.
Yeah, it's the one thing that if I had to give up everything but one, I would never give up the acting.
Absolutely. I like that. Now, did you take any acting classes early on and stuff like that? Or you just...
So my first acting coach was my mom.
Okay.
So I was doing...
That's always fun.
Yeah. Right. It was great because I was doing what I loved.
Right.
So it was never felt like work to me, even at a young age. And I was Goldilocks in Kaleidoscope Theater's Goldilocks. And she was just sitting with me in the living room being like, no. When you eat the porridge, you got to feel the heat on your tongue.
Exactly.
You got to feel the cold. And what does that mean to you? And I remember going through that was exactly what I loved doing was finding that truth in this fake.
Making it believable.
Right. And then I was just always acting every day. So I got on-the-job experience. And then I went to college for it and got my BFA in acting at the University of Rhode Island.
That's awesome. Shout out to you. Because that's what I was getting to. These things don't happen overnight, right? Everything is practice, whether you do sports, acting, singing, stuff like that. You have to pretty much become a master of your craft. If you don't put the work in, even if you're super talented, it's not going to go anywhere.
And it is a craft too, in any craft, painting, chair making, anything. you know, you have to work at it every day, even if you have the natural talent. Yep. I don't know if I did or not because I've been doing it since day one. Absolutely. So at the very least, I have the experience.
I like it. So have you done like anything on screen, or has it been just strictly plays, musicals, stuff like that? Have you done anything on screen?
So I actually recently made the transition over to the film world through my mentor, Eric Lutz.
Okay.
And I've done a few things with Verdi Productions.
Nice.
And Tom Danucci. Yeah.
I like it.
So it's been really great. I got to play recently in their most recent movie, The Roaring Game.
Nice.
I was a hockey teammate.
Yeah.
Can't play hockey.
How did you work that role out?
It's okay. We didn't go on the ice.
Oh, okay.
We were playing the teammates.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the hockey team.
Right.
So
I like it.
I was like, I don't have to ice skate, right? Because I won't look like a professional ice skater.
So I want to tell you a funny story, right? Now that we're speaking on this, it's so coincidental. So I was actually an extra, right, for Good Burger. Okay. And one of the scenes in the movie, they're skating at the Skates of America in East Providence, and the role said, can you skate or whatever? And I was like, yeah, because I just wanted to get picked. They end up calling me. They're telling me, what size are you in skates? They're like, you want rollerblades or skates, right? I'm like, it doesn't matter. The guy's already looking at me like something's up here. I put the skates on. I go on. They're in the middle of them filming. I just busted my ass, right? They're like, somebody get him up. Get him off those skates. Yo, so I learned, like, don't lie on, your resume sometimes, right? Because it could backfire you. But it worked out. They ended up just telling me to do, like, one of the sitting down, like, how they have food area? Yeah. They're like, just sit over there. Don't get on skates. Like,
please.
It was a nightmare. So, things like that. That's hilarious. Because I'm like, how'd you was on a hockey team? You couldn't skate.
Because I look like Bambi on ice when I try to skate. My legs are shaking.
Oh, it's not easy. No. It's not. It looks very easy when you're watching it, right? But I could do that when you do it.
You're like, you just glide and then you face first down the ground.
Now, I seen that you did early on. You did a Shakespeare play, if I'm correct. And is there like a dream role or a musical that you love to be a part of in the future? Like, what would be like your dream, like, to be a part of that project?
I mean, I would love to play Hamlet in Hamlet.
Oh, Hamlet. That's a good story.
It's just because what I love about acting is you get to understand different people. I feel like acting makes me a better person.
Right.
Because any good acting coach will tell you to never judge your character. It doesn't matter if you're playing the villain. It doesn't matter if you're playing someone completely outside of your morals and your belief systems. In order to put an authentic product out for what people are paying for. That's the other thing. It's an art and it's a craft, but people are paying $15, $20, sometimes $50. And then when you get to Broadway,
it's like $200-$300.
$10,000.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. It's pricey.
And you want people to get their money's worth and you want people to be entertained. And in order to do that, you have to be as authentic to the role. Because that role is important for the story.
Absolutely.
And it helps you become a more empathetic person, I think.
Right.
Which is why I really think that, performance skills should be in schools and everything because it teaches empathy, it teaches confidence, it teaches standing up in front of a group of people and just saying words.
It's not easy.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what job you have, even if you're a nurse, if you're in construction, at some point in your life, you're going to have to get in front of a group of people and say words.
Absolutely. Everyone you feel should take a course or two, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and,
I agree.
With Hamlet, it's the ultimate test because he's struggling. The whole, and he's pretending to be crazy, but he's actually going a little crazy because when you lost your father and then your uncle marries your mother, it's going to do something.
Anybody could lose it at that point, right?
And the pressure of the crown and all these things. And I would love the opportunity to not only explore that character and what that would mean for Ariana as Hamlet, but also just the text. I mean, William Shakespeare, Billy O'Boy, he knows how to. Oh, he's a
legend in the theater world. Now, speaking of that, what projects or upcoming projects are you currently working on at the moment?
So I'm doing a lot of writing. Obviously, being an actor, you are always a continuous working project.
Absolutely.
You know, so that is always a project I'm working on, making myself better. You know, I don't want to just do this thing. I want to eventually be the best,
right?
Which means I always want to be surrounded by people better than me. I want to always be working, growing, auditioning, anything like that. I'm currently working on a script that I had an idea about. That,
nice. You actually write full scripts? That's not easy to do.
Yeah, that's a new thing for me.
Yeah.
I started because I was helping Tom DiNucci edit some videos.
Nice.
And we were having a conversation, and it resulted, he kind of is being a mentor to me in writing, and really taught me how to not only write a script, but write a script that would get made.
Yeah.
I have never spent 2 hours being roasted and felt good about myself.
Yeah. In a good way.
I was laughing the whole time. I felt like, I can do this thing. I was roasted for 2 hours, but because I had to write 90 pages and I wrote 160.
Oh, you went way over. You're way over the budget.
Yeah. If you couldn't tell, brevity is not my strong suit.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I kind of do the same thing because I write as well, but I write music and I'll go way over and I'm like, how am I gonna cram all this? We call it bars in hip hop, but how am I gonna cram all these ideas in 16 lines? Because each bar is a line. And it's it's very difficult when you have a lot to say.
Yeah, you have to be willing to kill some babies.
Absolutely.
And just because again, it's a product that people are paying for, and you want it to be entertaining. You want it to reach people, Now,
do you have any music out at the moment? Do you do your own compilation? When it comes to the music, do you go to the studio or do you just use it strictly with your acting?
It's something that I personally strictly use with my acting.
Okay.
Just because at the end of the day, it all comes down to acting for me.
Gotcha. So you're really not trying to dive into the music world. It's just it goes with the acting for you.
If it happens, it happens. I'm a very go with the flow person.
I'm pushing it here because I'm all about, promoting and marketing.
Yeah.
I feel like you might be able to do a song or two in the studio. You never know what can happen. I mean, listen, there's always a soundtrack to a movie, right?
If you need a female vocalist on one of your things,
I'm putting it out there. I got
you.
You got some vocals. I'm telling you. I was listening. I'm like, wow, she really got skills. Like I said, I was saying this before we started, not everybody can sing. That's very difficult. So when you're naturally good at it, when you get in the studio, put a little auto-tune on that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I'm very fortunate because I feel like, I am always surrounded by very talented people.
Right.
And I think that's always helped me grow to the next level.
Absolutely.
That's how you get better. You observe people who are doing it.
Yeah.
And you find out what they're doing. And how can you do it?
Absolutely. So what has been your favorite role so far that you've played when you've done, these musicals and even your first time on film? What has been something that you were really excited for and you're like, wow, this is really working for me. I'm starting to see growth in this profession.
I have to say, I think maybe my first Shakespeare is the one that means so much to me. That was in high school. Okay. And I had never done Shakespeare before. Yeah. I didn't even want to audition.
Really?
Yeah, no, my mom had to trick me.
Yeah.
She was like, let's go to the movies. And I was like, okay. And we're in the car. I'm like, why are we going to Woonsocket? What's going on?
Also, she already had it all planned out.
Yeah.
She awesome. Shout out to mom for pushing you to.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for that moment because that's what led me to choosing the University of Rhode Island and everything.
Awesome.
But it was such a cool moment to not have ever done Shakespeare and for something to click there. And for me to be like, I think that was the moment I decided it was acting over singing and dancing and all those other things.
So at that very moment, you were still kind of undecided, right? More or less, you didn't know which way to go.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, it was, I think at that moment I was still thinking I was going to be a vet.
Yeah.
So also, it's my mom's fault that I'm doing this.
So you love animals? You really you keep saying the veterinarian thing. So what's your favorite animal? We gotta ask.
Okay.
You like dogs, cats? I think you like cats. Am I correct?
I grew up with dogs.
Okay.
So dogs are what I'm comfortable with. If I have a cat, I need at least a dog.
Also,
because,
both.
I need to be loved. And
Gotcha.
cats will love you on their
They're
terms.
so independent, right? Yeah, I know. They could be assholes, cats, right? You think about it, they're sitting on the fucking furniture, like jumping on tables. Like what's up with this guy? I'm more of a dog kind of. Well, you know, they say dogs are
What's your favorite dog?
I have a Frenchie at the moment.
Aww.
Yeah, so I love my Frenchie. He's like my baby boy. But yeah, I thought you was gonna say cats for some reason. Because females love cats.
I do love cats, but dogs are definitely, I love to play. I love to just be outside, and dogs kind of let you do that. But also, I'm low-key trying to turn myself into a Disney princess.
Right.
And so my goal is to walk outside and have all the animals be friends.
They all come to you and start singing to you and stuff. That's awesome. I like it. Now, pursuing a dream can be like tough. Like, do you ever struggle with self-doubt?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking about how your daughters started getting into this.
Absolutely.
And whenever parents come to me about that, I always tell them, they should only do this career field if they're passionate about it. Like I said, this is a craft, but performing crafts are always unique for singers, for dancers, for actors. Your craft is not something separate to be judged. Your craft is you.
Absolutely.
And so when your craft gets judged, you get judged. And you have to, it requires a level of thick skin, but all the thick skin is not going to save you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Unless you love it.
How do you push through it? Like, because you have those moments, right? Sometimes, even myself, there's times I'm like, wow, what am I doing here? You have those moments.
Oh, 100%. I think doubt is important because it pushes you to be better.
Right.
And as long as you can handle it with the right mindset. And I think I found the key to that my senior year in college. My acting professor that year was Tony Estrella, who's the artistic director over the GAM Theater.
Got you.
And, I had one of those moments, and we were doing these one-on-one monologues with him. Just, it was just you and him in the room. And I started my monologue, which was supposed to be a comedic monologue where I was supposed to be laughing, and I just started sobbing.
Wow, so the complete opposite.
And he's like, what's going on? And I asked him, I was like, should I even be doing this? Should I quit? I'll finish the degree.
You see? Self-doubt happens.
Yeah, and he gave me the best advice, which was, he said he wasn't going to tell me if he thought I was talented or not, because that shouldn't matter.
Right.
He said that this career field is full of no's, and you're going to get no's. And if this is how I'm going to react for every single no, then I should not be in this career field.
Go back to being a veterinarian, honey.
Exactly, right? Like,
you gotta have tough skin,
dogs, because it'll kill you.
Yeah.
But if you can take the no's and you can understand, even though it feels like you're being judged, when your craft is judged, it feels like you're being judged. You're not.
Yeah.
Half the time you don't have the look they're looking for. You don't have the chemistry with the person that has to be cast.
That's the thing with acting.
The only option.
It's tough. You don't have the eye color. Your hair is not black or it's not blonde. It's numerous things.
Yeah.
You're too big for the role.
Right.
You're not in shape.
Maybe they were really picturing someone with black hair.
Right.
Maybe they were really picturing someone who was 5'2", and that's not anything you can change. So the biggest thing is, let yourself feel the disappointment. Never push it down.
Right.
Because when you push it down, it'll just come out in other ways.
Yeah.
But let yourself feel the disappointment. Let yourself feel it. And then be like, well, what can I do? Yeah. What can I do to change it? I just self-produced a little 5-minute short with my business partner, Lindsay Catanzaro.
What's the name of that?
We're calling it Damsel.
I like it.
It's something that I actually wrote initially just to get myself a reel.
I like it.
Because that's the other thing. If you're not getting the work, you got to make yourself the
right.
work.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah, find a way to happen. So she directed it, and she's brilliant. And it's something we're going to do again with one of her scripts because we worked so well together.
I like it.
But I watched the first cut. And I looked at myself and I went, oh my God, I was so busy with planning this, writing this, acting in it.
Overthinking, right?
I forgot I was insecure.
Yeah.
I forgot.
You discover these things as you go, right?
And I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, no.
This is it. This came out. When does that come out, if you don't mind me asking, for those watching?
Hopefully soon. If you keep up with my social medias, I'm posting about it as much as I can. We are working with our editor every day. I've had to remove myself from the editing room. And
really?
That's the thing. You have to know your limits.
Yeah.
You know, insecurity is going to happen.
Yep.
So how do you work with it versus against it?
Yeah. That's actually my problem now, I'm going to be honest. Like, editing can be very time consuming, right?
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes it's hard to balance both if you're doing everything yourself.
Right.
But back to what you were saying, I want to feed on that just a little bit.
Yeah.
We have all these tools nowadays where, like, even people just doing these little stupid reels for 1 minute, they're becoming full-blown actors and comedians and stuff like that. So, you know, it's literally at the palm of your hand. So it's all the work you put into it. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. And that's definitely something that I'm trying to push on more by finding my own projects. You know, it's hard. Like, even with social media, your insecurities can so easily get in the
should
way.
I post this? Should I not? Right?
You know, I'm always afraid, like, people are going to be looking at me like, why is she doing that?
Yeah. And it's always your close friends and family, but they don't even support half the time. So who gives a fuck, right? Like, honestly.
Look, I've been very fortunate to have a very supportive community in my life.
That's good. That's
yeah.
awesome to hear that. So, you know, with acting, you know, and theater and stuff like that, would you ever be consider moving to like New York City or like Hollywood? Because, you know, that's sometimes where they have most of the roles. I know now we're starting to get into up and up with Boston casting and stuff like that. But would you ever like consider that if you had to move?
I think it's something that I consider at least once a month.
Okay.
You know, there was actually a point a couple of years ago where I was about to make the move to New York, but enough opportunities in Rhode Island presented itself that I felt like it was worth seeing those through and seeing what those brought. So I think it's something that's always on my radar. I think we're fortunate in Rhode Island to be so close to New York and Boston.
Yeah, you can always take the ride, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I have friends who live in New York. So if I need to crash, you know, I'm sure I can find ways to make that happen. So as of right now, it's not the move, but it's always on my radar.
It's always on your mind, right? Because even myself, being that I'm originally from there, I'm like, dang, I don't know, man. Maybe I should go back home. You know, like things are not panning out really, but we're coming up. Like this is a up and up. Like I was saying earlier, like we got some things happening here right now. I think if, like you said, stick with it. You never know. We'd be the first to accomplish, right?
Island.
Yeah,
you know, I think Rhode Island has always been slept on.
Right.
You know,
it's the underdog.
Yeah, you got so many different communities in the smallest amount of space a state could have.
Yeah.
And we all work together. We all, you know, we're tough on each other, but we like each other.
Yeah. It's like family. It's all family, right? Yeah.
So, and I think I'm very happy to see the growth that just Rhode Island as a state is making, because I think we have the potential to really have a really great thriving community here of artists and creatives.
I totally agree with that. Now, what legacy do you hope to leave in the world of acting in general and theater?
I think the legacy that I want to leave, that's a really great question. Thank you for asking that.
How to pick your brain a little bit today, you know?
Yeah. If I could bring it down to one word, it would be capital L, love. I think love, you know, Princess Diana had said it. It's the lack of feeling love is the biggest disease that our world faces. Right. And I think it all starts with self-love.
Yes.
So I think a legacy of enlifting and empowering others to love themselves, and that means being hard on yourself, but from a place of love. You know, I every day try to look at myself and be like, all right, I didn't do my best there. Yeah. And instead of being hard on myself about it, I look at, well, how can I do better next time?
Yes.
Where do I need to take ownership for my actions, and where can I grow? What do I need to work on? And but it has to be, you can't shame yourself.
Yeah.
And then I think once you can see that in yourself, then you can start to see that in others. And you can start to see that even the people that you may not agree with and you may not think are living their lives the way that you think a life should be led, at the end of the day, everyone just wants love. Everyone just wants safety. Everyone just wants comfort. And if I could leave any legacy, it would be maybe not bringing that, because it requires everyone to step up for themselves, but inspiring more people to enter that space.
I love it. Well said. That was awesome.
Thank you.
What about, like, you know, I got to be devil's advocate here. If it doesn't pan out, right? Because not sometimes things you want to do in life doesn't go that way. You end up having kids, and numerous things can happen, right? If acting or singing wasn't to pan out, what would you see yourself doing?
I think I would stay in the creative industry.
Nice. So behind the scenes, more or less?
Yeah. I mean,
nice.
I don't think I'll ever give up. That's the thing. If it doesn't pan out, it means I'm dead.
Right.
You know, that's at the end of the day where I've chosen to live my life. So I think it would be continuing behind the scenes until it happens.
That's good.
I think it would be coaching. So I'm not the biggest fan personally of teaching, because a big group overwhelms me.
Oh, okay. So you prefer to work one-on-one, right?
I love working one-on-one because I really love helping people find what makes them special and what makes them unique.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that. So more or less like a vocal coach or an acting coach.
Yeah.
And you make the big bucks there.
Yeah, you know, but how can I help you, you know,
achieve your dreams, right?
Acting isn't lying, and good acting isn't pretending.
Right.
You know, good acting is, how do I authentically show up as someone else?
Absolutely.
And you know, it's so fun for me to look at someone doing a scene and say, okay, what would you feel? All right. Okay. Now, what would you feel with these circumstances? And how do we incorporate you into this character and yet have you disappear?
Well said. I like it. You should do your own podcast. I'm going to tell you right now. I think you'd be great. You should try it out.
Oh my God. No, they would be 3 hours long. Like, I wouldn't be able to stop talking.
You go 160 pages over the limit.
Exactly. Everyone would be like, Ariana, okay, shut up. This is one episode. After 2, they'd be over it.
Speaking of all that, we're going to get into Album of the Week real quick.
Album of the week on the Jmack Experience Podcast.
Album of the week this week is Alligator Bites Never Heal by Dolce. She just won a Grammy. Yeah, so
I love her so much.
Oh, you was gonna ask you, have you heard about her?
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard the album?
I've heard some songs from it. I'm really bad at keeping up on things.
Okay, cool.
You know, but I do try to as much as possible. And I just, one thing I love about her is we see videos of her from 2020 before she made it. Yeah. Just being so hopeful and just as delusional as possible. And I'm like, yes, girl, I'm trying to do the same
that,
thing.
right? Yeah, that's inspiring. And that's what we're trying to do here. Motivate and inspire. We're going to get into movie of the week
on the Jmack Experience Podcast.
Movie of the week this week, of course, we got to say this one for you, is Snow White. I'm assuming you're going to go see it. Comes out this Friday.
Fun fact.
You seen it already?
Not yet, but there is a University of Rhode Island alum in that, Andrew Burnap.
Really? Shout out to him. That's awesome.
And I know he was actually teaching at the college a couple years ago after I graduated, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited about them. I love Disney, and
I can't wait to watch it. I actually want to see. I'm taking my daughter to see it. I'm big on. We seen Willy Wonka. That was the last musical we seen. That was pretty good. But that's awesome. I can't wait. I want to see it in IMAX. That's the only way to go. Yeah.
But you know what? It's another win for Rhode Island. So
yeah, I didn't even know Rhode Island was behind that.
Well, with Andrew.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Shout outs to him.
Yeah.
I like it. So, I know we covered a lot of things. We'll be wrapping it up shortly. What's next for Ariana Pacheco? And is there anything else that I might have missed or might have not covered that you would like to mention?
What's next? I think that's the biggest question for every creative out there is what's next. It's finishing up this the Damsel project, getting ready to go on the new one, and then just pushing myself as much as possible. I'm currently writing another script, and this one I'm trying on my own.
You have a name, a title for it?
It is called Undercurrents.
Undercurrent. Is this like a water kind of thing? I see maybe in the ocean type of thing.
It's Gonna be set in a coastal town.
See? Okay.
And
Nice.
and basically the idea of it is this woman comes home to her hometown and her family freaks out because she's been missing for 7 years.
Oh, wow. So it's one of those stories.
Yeah, and we
That's
use
good.
flashbacks, and the question becomes, is her husband someone she just met and fell in love with? Or was she kidnapped and has Stockholm Syndrome?
Oh, so let me hold on. Because you know what? There's a movie that I really enjoyed watching. It's like kind of old, but it's a great movie. I think it's called Brothers.
Brothers?
You ever seen that one?
I don't think I
Where
have.
so check it out. I think it's with
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal, and basically he goes to war in like Iraq or something like that, and they think he's dead. How his wife ends up with his brother, and he comes back years later, kind of the same thing, but then he finds his brother started a whole family with his wife.
Oh, yeah, no, that'll be great.
It's some
great,
crazy shit.
motivation.
It's a
for
good
me.
movie. You gotta check it out.
Yeah, I definitely
It might give you
will.
some ideas. You know?
Oh, I love research. You know, it's definitely something, especially as a new writer.
Yeah.
That's great for me to do. But yeah, I'm excited to write this one because it's just so fun. It's loosely based off of the Persephone and Hades story.
I like it.
That idea of like kidnapping, and that's a common question. Was Persephone truly kidnapped by him, or did she go to the underworld willingly?
Will the world ever know? Right?
No,
It's like one of those things.
But we'll know about our characters and undercurrents. We'll get our answers.
That's
so.
pretty cool. I like that. I like thriller. It's like a thriller mystery kind of thing, right? Yeah, those
I
are good
love
movies.
messing with people's
Yeah.
minds.
What's
and-
next, right? Like those movies. I like
and
that.
it fits my thing because it challenges. I'm really working on challenging perceptions and like what misguiding the audience in a very authentic and real way, that you think one thing because of this, but when you learn the truth,
Right.
it all falls together and you realize you don't ever know anyone's story. You don't ever know what someone was truly going through. And that's another reason, undercurrents. The name means two parts. First of all, you don't know what's happening underneath. And once you get in there, you can be swept away. But then also at the same time, when you drown yourself from who you are, you'll get swept in that, and finding your way back to yourself can be so difficult.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like the symbolism there.
Thank
like
you.
You're good at. I can tell you're good at. I can't wait to see some of the stuff that you're putting out.
Oh, thank you.
Where can people follow you social media wise for those watching who are not aware?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm slowly building those up. So
Oh, you're doing dances on TikTok too?
No,
You say you like dance. Like,
I do love to dance, but I just love throwing in like what's going on in my
Yeah.
life and like the positive things, some singing, some monologues,
Right.
anything I can throw out there. I'm Ari Pacheco, so
Nice.
that's ARIPACHEEKS. And then on YouTube, you can just search me, Ariana Pacheco, and I'm going to try and post on there a bunch more. Start maybe, Instagram and TikTok, it's going to be short form. But on YouTube, I'll start posting longer scenes, longer monologues, longer songs. We'll probably be doing To Be or Not To Be very soon.
to be or not to be? Oh, that's going to be to be or not to be. That's pretty cool.
Been scoring up that monologue a little bit
I like
and getting ready to put that out there. So
That's awesome. Now, are you open? Like, can people reach out to you? Let's say somebody wants to collaborate with you on something,
Mm-hmm.
maybe write a project or just be a part of one of your projects. Are you open to doing that? Or are you selective on who you work with?
I am open to being reached out to,
Yeah.
and then just know that I am selective with my energy. You
Absolutely.
know? I will always focus on my projects first,
Right.
but anywhere that I can help, if I had all the energy in the world, I would help everyone.
Yeah.
I love community. I love this community in Rhode Island where there is this element of everyone just does want to help each other and give each other the chance and the opportunity. And that's what I've experienced. So if I can pay that forward, I will. I'll always focus my energy on my projects first, but I love collaborating. I love working with people. So please, please, please reach out to me and I will help you in any way I can. I will give you resources. I will share it with people who might help you better than me as much as I can. I'm never afraid to be like, I'm not good enough. But, with singing, there's a great singer that I'm friends with, Scout Lyons. I think you know her.
Oh, yes, of course. She's awesome. Yes.
Yeah. So like if you're asking me to do singing and I can't, I'll be like, oh my God, Scout because she's great. Like, I love doing that.
See, it's always good, like, it doesn't cost you nothing, right? Just putting the word out there and helping others, more or less, you know?
What's meant for you will never miss you. Yeah. So choosing to help others can only help you. Yeah. You know? So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, can we agree that all the experiences that you went through got you to where you are today?
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's so much in my life that I have been through. I was in the military. I
knew we were missing a few things.
Yeah, I have growing up with immigrant parents, all of that. I've had very unique experiences, and, knowing what I loved from day one, and I wouldn't change any of it. I wouldn't change one thing, the good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty, the amazing. The only way I would go back and change anything is if I could keep my memories.
Got you.
So that way I could keep the lessons. And then the only change I would make is enjoying it more.
That's a good point that you made, though, because life is always about learning, right? Yeah. So you need to go through the storm. You need to go through the ups and the downs to get you to where you are, where you're going, no?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And you have to be grateful for it, and you have to be forgiving of yourself for it too.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Any advice out there for those who may be experiencing the same situations that you went through or are going through at the moment?
Don't push down the bad. I think we very much want to avoid the bad emotions as much as we can. Right. And if life was all positive 100% of the time, you would never know what good is.
Absolutely.
So I think we can't control what happens to us, but we are the result of what happens to us. Yes. So what we can control is how we react to it. So feel what you have to feel, but always remember you can move forward. You can get yourself out of it. You have survived 100% of the bad days you've been through. Yeah. And, keep trying. If you love it, if you're passionate about it, it means you're supposed to focus on it, whether it's to do that thing or for that thing to lead you where you're supposed to be.
Well said.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, I think you need to start doing your own podcast. I'll just put it out there.
Well, I mean, we have great space here. Yeah, so if I need to rent out a space.
Hit up Conversation Studio. Shout outs to them, man. Now, any last words or special shout outs that you would like to mention before we sign off?
I would like to thank you
for having me
on here. I mean, honestly, this was my first podcast. You made it nice and easy for me.
You did great.
If you need to be on a podcast and you want to talk about your stuff, this is the guy to go to.
Appreciate you.
And, I just want to shout out all the filmmakers in Rhode Island who are making Rhode Island film community grow. We have people like Erica Atwell and Ed Brady pushing. Yes. We have the Verdes, we have Tom DiNucci, we have Eric Lutz, we have so many artists that I'm sorry I'm missing people, because I've met so many people in the past 3 years who are just so passionate about it. And I think it's wonderful, and I love to see it, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So to all the creatives in Rhode Island, thank you. And to you, thank you for having me.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
It was an honor, truly. Episode 77, Ariana Pacheco, the Jmack Experience Podcast. We're signing out. Gra!
Thanks for coming on the Jmack Experience Podcast. Be sure to come on for another episode every single week. Until next time, peace.
Black Sheep Sea Moss. It'll make you want to slap your daddy.
Oh, harder, daddy.